The killer loaded a bullet into the chamber. Then he threw a die. This time, the number was 1. It meant he would take out the target with a single shot. Immediately, the killer aimed at Lupin. After calculating the wind speed, he pulled the trigger without hesitation. The bullet shot out like lightning. However, the expected scene of the target falling did not happen. Clearly, the shot had missed. Instead, a bullet pierced the killer's own chest. He quickly turned to look behind him. The shooter was none other than Jian, who had long been dead. Then Jian fired another shot, precisely hitting the killer's knee. Now the killer was utterly bewildered. Hadn't Jian already been killed by him? Was it a ghost pulling the trigger? Before he could process this, Lupin's voice suddenly came through his earpiece. This made the killer realize he had been fooled. It turned out that back when Jian was first sniped, Lupin had sensed something was off. That was why had the killer fired a bullet into an empty street in advance, only to hit Jian with such precision. Lupin looked up and noticed that the entire city was covered with countless cameras. He then speculated that the killer must have modified his own eyes, connecting his optic nerves to the surveillance footage. This way, no matter where the target hid, he could see them. After uncovering this secret, Lupin quickly devised a brilliant plan. On the day Jian was shot, he tampered with the city's surveillance feed, delaying the footage the killer saw by 0.5 seconds, so the bullet never actually hit Jian. It was all just an act. Realizing the truth, the killer knew he had utterly lost. He dropped his weapon and asked Jian to grant him a quick death. However, Jian would not kill an unarmed man. He only wanted to defeat his opponent fairly in a duel and reclaim his dignity. The killer understood his intent, so he loaded his last bullet into the chamber. The moment the wind stopped, both men drew and fired simultaneously. Jian was ultimately 0.1 seconds slower. The bullet grazed his cheek and flew past. Had he lost after all? But in the next second, a gaping hole burst through the killer's right hand. It turned out that while the killer's modified bullets were fast, they lacked the power of Jian's magnum rounds. At the moment of impact, the killer's bullet was knocked off course. In the end, Jian emerged victorious, for the killer had lost his right hand, the very symbol of his life.